This is my dog Daisy. You're gonna see her in some videos.
Not the person that you wanted me to be. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry that I hurt you in the past. I'm so sorry for everything that I said. I will always love you.
That's sweet.
Are you open to sharing it with us?
I'd rather not.
So the episode starts with Julia still explaining to Brandon that she doesn't consider kissing her ex cheating because it was very early on in their relationship.
Brand, not serious relationship, just dating. And I never thinking I will be moved to here. I thinking this is just nothing serious.
She didn't believe that her and Brandon were ever going to see each other again. And she didn't think that they were serious yet. And she just wanted to get this off her chest now because she never imagined moving to America and having this life and possibly having children with him. So she really wanted to get this off her chest. And I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I don't think there's anything wrong with Julia admitting something that was on her mind for many years. But what I do find interesting is later on in the episode and in between the sheets, Brandon says that they were already filing for the K1 visa and that they were already like really deep in their relationship.
Already filing K1 visa when that happened.
But he didn't mention that in the group therapy. So I wonder why he would leave something like that out. Maybe he was trying to protect her from the couples judging her, but I think that that was a detail that he should have included in front of everyone. But I guess we'll find out whether that is even true or not. So now let's move on to Rob and Sophie. Sophie says that she remembered a time when she told one of her friends in front of Rob something that Rob had told her in private.
And I brought up some really personal things that Rob had told me in front of her.
And she says that she feels bad because she could tell that moment really hurt him. And so that she should never have told her friend a secret that didn't have anything to do with her, that wasn't her business to tell. She apologizes for that and says that she'll never do something like that again.
And sending me inappropriate things. I'm really sorry that I started that because I feel like it changed everything.
Rob, I really was so proud of Rob in this moment, but Rob says that he regrets online cheating and that he's really sorry, and he says that that ruined everything for them. And I was really so happy for Sophie and Rob in this situation. I was finally rooting for Sophie. She was finally taking some accountability, and I was so happy to see her do that again. And I mean, I'm sure you know it's ruined by the end of this episode, but we'll get back to that. So Stacy brings up a time when she and Florian were getting into many arguments. She ends up saying to Florian that she wants a divorce, and she says that she regrets saying that to him because those words really hurt him. Girl, you should be saying much worse words, but I won't get into that. Florian brings up the time when he cheated on Stacy.
Different, I wish I know can do it. I wish I never happened, you know? Shoulda, coulda, you know?
And he's very nonchalant. He never really seems like he cares too much about making Darcy. He never really seems like he cares too much about hurting Stacy's feelings. So he's not taking that much accountability. But there's no shocker, you know, he never takes Stacy serious about anything as long as she's paying his bills, right? So now it's Josh's turn, and he says that he couldn't think of any time that he hurt Natalie. Are you kidding me, Josh? We watched a whole episode, a few episodes of when you hurt Natalie. The sex therapy episode.
No, lick it.
Well,
What if it makes me feel good? Stop insulting me.
The Vegas.
I had asked her if she went to Vegas.
If you want as a woman, why you keep me? Why? I deserve a man who will respect me. I would never do this to you.
So he admits to Vegas at least.
And like a group of us were going, and my only fault was I didn't invite her.
And he says that that was the only thing he could think of, but that Natalie and him weren't in a place where he felt comfortable inviting her to Vegas anyway. Sure, okay. Even if that was the situation, I'm sure that there were many times that he should be apologizing for. Now it's Natalie's turn, and Natalie's in disbelief over Josh's response, but she comes up with one. And she says that she remembered a time when Josh was leaving her. I think I remember actually watching this in an old 90 Day episode.
What the doing here? I'm struggling, obviously.
we see Josh leaving and we see her really upset and screaming at him. And I think he got what he deserved. I don't even think that she should be apologizing for that moment, but that's just what I think. Now we're up to Jasmine and Gino. Jasmine remembers a time where she didn't spend her first Christmas in the US with Gino. Instead, Jasmine spent it in a cheap motel room because her and Gino were fighting that whole day, which I don't see that as a reason for her to apologize. I can think of many other reasons Jasmine should be apologizing. One example, everything that happened with Dan and her butt implants.
The money that he had been giving me for my wedding dress and butt implants.
I can think of many examples, but she apologized for their first Christmas and the way that went. She gives such a sincere apology that I was so happy for her. She knows she's gonna leave Gino. She knows they're not gonna work out. And she's just giving the ultimate, I'm sorry for everything. And I was really proud of Jasmine in that moment. If you've seen my other videos, I have a soft spot for Jasmine. Gino, on the other hand, I used to have a soft spot for Gino, and I used to look at him as the victim. But over the years and over the seasons, Gino is no victim, okay? He also antagonizes Jasmine. They antagonize each other. Gino is not a saint. Yes, he financially supported Jasmine. Beautiful. That was their agreement. But he doesn't support her in the ways a healthy partner should, you know? He doesn't calm her down. She doesn't calm him down either, you know? They're just not good for each other. I think Gino is better off single and just on his sugar baby websites. And I think Jasmine just needs to be with someone else. Hopefully Matt is a good partner for her. I hope so. So now it's Gino's turn to apologize to Jasmine, but instead he chooses to keep it to himself.
Are you open to sharing it with us?
I'd rather not.
Come on now. Now I don't want to hear anybody defending Gino because he's obviously hiding something. Gino is pressured to come up with something, so he comes up with...
And sometimes Jasmine and I will fight, and I said, well, just go back to Panama.
I think he's making it up.
Come on now. We all know that that's a lie. Gino is so used to looking like the victim, playing the victim, and he's dying inside knowing that he's going to have to finally admit that he's not perfect and he's not as innocent as he wants everyone to believe he is. Jasmine knows. She knows he cheated. She also has too. So hopefully they both just admit that they both cheated, and that could be the end of Gino and Jasmine. I'm ready to see them move on. Okay, I'm gonna go through Benny and Ari really quick because their story was so confusing and I still kind of don't get it. But I don't feel bad for Ari either way. I'll explain. She remembered times where she said unkind things about Benny and yelled at him, and she doesn't want to do that anymore. Next, Benny, he pretty much admits that he cheated on Ari with another woman and on that woman with Ari. Okay. Ari ends up saying something like, was it your ex-wife or was it this other girl? It's all confusing. Benny is a big cheater. Ari had to have known that. She still got pregnant with him right away. And Benny is clearly an F-boy. So that's it. That's the sum of their story.
That's all. Ari, I'm talking to you right now. Just starting that process of apologizing and owning up for things is a good start.
I love Sarah, the hypnotherapist, because she cut off Ari right away and said exactly what I was thinking. Ari, stop trying to make Benny look like the bad guy. We all know he is. You know he is. Let's move on. You take accountability. He took a little bit of accountability. And like she said, maybe now in the future, if you just allow it to happen, maybe it'll happen more. Let's move on. So the couples are at the campfire. They're making s'mores, and Natalie is having a potato. She ends up burning the potato, but I would try that. I didn't think it looked that gross. I don't know why everybody was making fun of her.
I'm into potato because it felt like home when I was a child.
But she says that it reminds her of her childhood, and she's in her child self right now. She's making her inner child happy, and I think it's cute. Do you, girl? And we see Rob and Sophie having their s'more, and Rob is helping her make a s'more because she's never had that before. She screams that it's burnt, which that's the best way to have a s'more, is when it's burnt. It tastes the best that way, girl. I love s'mores. So Florian and Stacy are sitting by themselves and they're talking about the way the hypnotherapy went for them. And Jasmine comes up to them and Florian looks very uncomfortable. He says that he hasn't spoken to Jasmine since the other day when they got into that argument. Jasmine says that she wants to apologize to Florian.
But I'm taking accountability for what I did.
There is nothing wrong with making mistakes. The important part of it is recognizing them, apologizing, and moving forward.
I want to apologize to you, Florian, because
She realizes that she was taking out her anger for Gino on him, which I did think the same, but she still was right about everything she said. But it should have been Stacy saying it and not Jasmine. Then I ended up realizing the reason she's apologizing is because she wanted Florian to talk to Gino for her, to find out what Gino was hiding from her. That's still great of her to admit that she made a mistake. So now Jasmine, Florian, and Stacy join the other couples by the campfire, and Jasmine can't help herself. She has to mention the elephant in the room.
but he doesn't look at you as a partner. When this guy give you like the leftover, you act like a puppy, so desperate.
So she asked Josh why was he the only one who couldn't come up with something to apologize for. Josh ends up saying he couldn't think of anything that was a major issue. And then Rob asked Natalie if she's fine with the way things are. And if she is, then that's what it is. And she says that she likes playing games. She likes the game. She likes the drama. She likes all of that. If not, she's bored. So that was such a silly answer. That was just a cop out for why she's just accepting Josh doing whatever he wants with her. And we know that Josh does financially support Natalie, so I'm sure that that's why she's putting up with it. But she can't get upset with him if she is only with him for money. That's just what I think about them. So to make a long story short, Jasmine ends up telling them that she doesn't want to open up around them because she feels like they're just wasting everyone's time. And I agree. Why are they there? They are entertaining. Well, not Josh. Natalie is very entertaining. I'm completely over Josh this season. Before, I was like, whatever about him. But now I'm completely over Josh. And I'm good without ever seeing Josh again. But Natalie, she's really entertaining. Hopefully she's back on the single life in the future. And they leave because Jasmine says she doesn't want to open up around them. And Josh and Natalie head to their tent. So to wrap this episode up, they all wake up the next morning and Rob's cooking for everyone. He says that Sophie hasn't really been speaking to him and he could tell something is up with her. Jasmine goes up to Sophie and asks her why she's not joining them for breakfast.
I basically saw on his phone that he's been texting women the whole time.
You're down to be adventurous. Let's explore.
Sophie went through Rob's phone and saw that he was messaging other women, and she let Jasmine read it. But why was Sophie going through Rob's phone, first of all? Did they have an agreement that they weren't going to be speaking to other people while they're at the resort? Second, and will we ever find out what was on his phone? Because I want to know, and I'm sure you do too. We see the previews for the next episode, and Rob goes berserk. That sounds guilty. So I really hope we find out what happened. And Gino crying after he admits something. But what did you guys think of this episode? And what do you think was on Rob's phone? Thank you so much for watching. Please like, share, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Bye.